This is Saige Whitney. Welcome to a Lights Out Narcissistic Podcast, Episode 5. This podcast is considered a small business. If you would like to support this small business, at the bottom of the show notes, there's a link to Saige's shop. You can also go to ko-fi.com, that is ko-fi.com/Saiges, SAIGE, You are available in that shop to leave a tip or purchase some of my custom tees or artwork. Whoever hits the $100 goal on my donation tip jar, I will personally send you one of my custom t-shirts, a coloring page, and 2 other mystery gifts. Thank you guys so much. Today I have my first guest, which is so exciting. Her name is MaryBeth, and she's going to be talking about her story. MaryBeth, I am so happy that you're here today.
Oh, thanks for having me, Saige. I am honored to be your first guest.
So exciting. Yeah. So happy. When I was on your podcast, it was just such great energy. It was so fun. When you told me you'd like to be a guest on mine, I was like, absolutely. So let's just get right into it. I want to just hear your story, where you got into this energy healing stuff. If you'd like to talk about being an empath, I'd love to hear that.
Okay. Well, just to start for a brief overview, my name's MaryBeth Rombach Nelson, and I'm an intuitive, a channeler, an author, and like Saige said, I have a podcast, The Healing Soul. I had an experience when I was 14, my first supernatural experience. I saw my dad a week after he died, and he was standing by my bed, and he looked like he was 30. He was healthy, he had dark wavy hair, and it completely freaked me out because I had never seen spirit before. But that just opened the door wide open for my psychic abilities just to ramp up. And then fast forward to when I was 30 years old, I went in for a surgery, and I hemorrhaged, and it was at Thanksgiving time, and the nurses were short-staffed. It wasn't the nurses' fault. It was busy time, holiday time. They finally came in and said, you haven't gotten up out of bed, and you're supposed to be walking around after surgery. I said, well, I can't even lift my arm. She's like, what are you talking about? So she went to help me up and pulled me up. When I stood up, it was just like a waterfall. I was hemorrhaging so much. That's why I was so weak. So I had to go back in for emergency surgery. My sister and my ex-husband at the time were there, and I felt it. I said, I'm going to die. The nurse is like, don't say that. So I got into the second surgery of that day, and I remember I wasn't even knocked out yet because my body was in shock. And I was above myself watching the surgeon and the nurse and listening to their conversation. And I could see my body laying there. And they started to cut into me before I was knocked out to stop the hemorrhaging. Well, as I'm watching this, a really, really bright light comes into the room. And I walk to meet my father, who I hadn't seen since I was 14. I'm now 30. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy to see you. I love you. And he scolded me and said, what are you doing with your life? Because I was in an abusive relationship at that time. And here, I'm all happy to see him. And I was blissed out because it's the most unconditional love you could ever imagine. It's the most beautiful white light. It's a different white than we have on earth. It's blissful, joyful, all-encompassing love. But to make a short story, I wanted to stay, and I had kids, and my dad is like, no, it's not your time, but you need to wake up and really examine what you're doing with your life because you know better. And I did know better. So if you're in an abusive relationship, have enough self-respect and self-love and know that you are unconditionally loved and you are whole exactly as you are. So I didn't want to leave this blissful experience, but I telepathically spoke with my dad without my body. What that told me is we never die. No one can kill your soul or hurt your soul. And how empowering is that? So all of a sudden I thumped back into my body. But the next day when the surgeon came in to talk to me, he's like, you really scared me. We thought we lost you. And I said, well, you did. And I told him of my experience, and he said he had only heard it a couple times in his 28, 30-year career, but he said it was very similar to the other couple stories he had heard, and it changed me. So I ended up leaving that relationship. What it taught me is that we really don't die, and no matter what someone says to you or does to you, they can't kill your soul, and it empowers you to be able to do anything that you set your mind to, because truly, if you don't stop yourself, no one else can stop you.
Absolutely.
And sometimes the biggest tragedies in our lives give us the biggest nuggets that you can move forward and have a powerful life. And it just shows you that when you get in alignment with your soul, you are unstoppable.
Absolutely. How did you get in alignment with your soul?
Realizing in that near-death experience that I am unconditionally loved. You just are. You're already whole. You listening and watching are already whole and complete and perfect exactly as you are. So once you realize that and you feel that unconditional love of your soul and of the afterlife, I was in alignment forever. And like I said, I had already opened up when I was 14 when I saw my dad. And after the near death, I was completely wide open. I am an empath. I feel what other people feel when I give readings, or sometimes when I'm just talking to someone. And I get messages from spirit and spirit guides regularly, and I give intuitive readings.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I was just talking on the phone with this lady. I was saying there's a lot of empaths out there in this world today, and we're not born with a guide. So people are feeling amazing around us, getting that divine energy hit that empaths provide, yet we're not realizing it, and then we're not protecting that energy from narcissists, from takers, from energy vampires. So at what point in your life did you realize, wow, was it during that experience with your dad when you realized, wow, I have this beautiful divine energy in me and I need to start protecting it? Or was it later?
It was partially then. I realized I deserved to be treated with respect, and I wasn't going to tolerate not being treated with respect. So what I mean by that, if someone tries to put their emotional load on you and they want to be the victim and have you give all your energy, it is not your responsibility to give your energy to another person. You can relay to them that I'm sorry you're feeling that way. Your emotions are not my responsibility. The only one that can make you happy is yourself.
Like I talked about in my podcast, it's not your job to fix someone else's crappy life. It's theirs.
Well, it's actually interfering with their destiny.
It is.
You try to fix someone without them taking the steps to learn the lessons and get those nuggets from their soul, the wisdom, and go through the tragedies themselves. You're impeding their soul's progress, and it's not right. So you're not doing a good thing, and it alleviates you feeling obligated to, when you look at it that way, that you don't want to stop that person's soul growth.
Absolutely. And I've learned that too, is that for these narcissists to finally learn, they're going to have an ego death. And that's going to be when they're alone and they actually realize what they've done to people, which in my life, I have so much gratitude now for these narcissists because I didn't have boundaries before. I couldn't say no. Everyone was taking advantage of me. Not everyone, but a good majority of people. I was able to learn my lesson, but now I set healthy, happy boundaries with everybody. Those narcissists don't have access anymore to that energy. I feel like now instead of enabling them, I'm actually showing them boundaries, and maybe they're learning from that. But for once, I feel like I'm not impeding on their soul's evolutionary journey.
Right. And, if you're in a relationship and the narcissist likes to fight because they feed off your reaction, just simply staying calm and saying, I won't be spoken to that way, and walking out of the room, it just falls to the ground and takes all the energy out of the situation.
Love that. And you're respecting yourself. You're saying, I respect my energy. You don't get to take my energy. If you're going to treat me like that, I leave.
Right. Stay calm within yourself and leave the situation, because the only one that you can control is yourself.
Absolutely.
How you react or choose not to react. You can stop reacting. You can stop dancing with the narcissist. And you're doing them a favor because they need to take personal responsibility for themselves. And they won't do that if they can always blame every situation on your overreacting or your this. If you give them no reaction, there is no food to feed off of.
It's that narcissistic supply, which is from energetic hits, from putting someone down, calling them crazy, validation, anything to do with plumping up their ego. If you don't do that, they're starving.
Well, and, a lot of times they'll say you're overreacting. Oh, you're so sensitive. And you just respond back. You can smile and say, I don't need to justify my mood or my emotions to you. Mic drop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And I just spoke with someone about this, but when they're saying you're too sensitive, what happened there is they said something really messed up, and they're calling you sensitive, gaslighting you, so they don't have to take accountability for the messed up thing they said.
Right.
So at that point, you're almost forcing them to take accountability of what you said was messed up, and I'm not going to let you get an energetic hit from that. I'm going to make you kind of face that by removing yourself, and then they do start to think a little bit.
Right. And, the only one that can make them better is them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You were talking about nuggets of wisdom. Could you expound on that with your experiences with narcissists and nuggets of wisdom you've taken from them?
So, after you observe a person and you know a person for a period of time, you can predict what they're going to say in a situation. So taking a step back and not taking it personal yourself and just evaluating the whole situation. Well, this is going to trigger that statement or an argument because they didn't get a reaction, and just knowing what you need for your own peace. If you have narcissistic friends, you don't have to give them excuse for not going to lunch. You can just say, thanks for asking, I'm not available. And you can keep saying that. You don't have an obligation to be friends with someone that you get nothing out of.
Absolutely. When was your first experience that you remember with a narcissist?
I'm a Reiki healer. I'm an intuitive reader and channeler. So and an empath, I draw them to me because I positive affirmations and I'm encouraging. And just knowing if one friend will call you 20 times a month and you always feel drained, that's a red flag.
Yes.
And not that a relationship is always 50-50, but if you can go to lunch with someone and they never ever even ask, huge red flag. And it's never about you. It's always you encouraging them and uplifting them. And I've had many friends going back probably to when I was a teenager. And I guess I didn't really realize it until after my near-death experience. I really is like, this time on earth is precious. My soul has a mission, and I need to focus on myself. And if I'm in a relationship that's abusive, I can't change the other person. But you listening, if you're in an abusive relationship or even an unpleasant relationship, when you start focusing on yourself, what can I do to make myself better? How can I feel better? Do I feel better when I go for a walk or do yoga or paint? Do what makes you happy, because you can never change the other person, period. End of discussion.
Period.
And
Absolutely.
Once you realize that, exclamation point.
Yes. Yes.
Once you realize that, your life will change because you're focusing on you, and you can change you. You can be happy. You can choose to be happy. You can do things to be happy. That's in your realm of possibilities. You are not magical empath that can change this other person to a happy giving person. It's not going to happen.
I love that.
That's okay. That's okay. That's their life. It's their path. If they choose to continue on that path, that is their soul's responsibility, not yours.
I love it. And, I will be talking about this with my next episode. These people are here on this earth to teach us how to have boundaries. We have to see them as a teacher. We honor the pain. There was so much pain and trauma and, then we realize this is a teacher. Now, as a student, you graduate. You learn your lesson, you take that in, and then you release. These are not people we need. Unless it's a family member, there should be boundaries there. But it's okay to release someone out of your life. I learned my lesson. Thank you, teacher.
Even if it is a family member, if it's very, very abusive, it's still okay to release, even a parent.
Absolutely.
You can send them off with love and just say, I can't do this anymore, and be okay with that. And you can have close friends that are like family.
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, we're not here for other people. We're here to improve ourselves. I tell people this, be a lighthouse. Lighthouses don't run along the ocean saving people. They stand tall, they shine. That's it. Be your lighthouse. Work on yourself. We're done with the fixer-upper period. Oh, I got this guy. I'm going to fix him up. No, honey. Work on yourself. No more fixer-ups. Fix yourself. Fix yourself, sweetheart.
Well, talking about light, I have a little poem in my book, Soul Energy, that just came out.
Yeah, let's hear it. Please, I would love to hear it.
Light, oh beautiful light. Light so bright. Peace, joy, love from above. All-encompassing light. A star, a sun, a moon, a ray, a twinkle, a moonbeam. Shine, sweet light. Live in the light. Love in the light. Be the light. And that's from my book, Soul Energy.
Love it. Beautiful.
And it talks about a sacred guide to remembering your soul's frequency, that alignment of you.
Yes. Yes, I love that poem. That is
Thank you.
that is right. Like, hit the nail on the coffin. Like, right there. That's perfect. Yeah. Be the light.
The right people will feel it and surround us.
Yeah. Yeah. And I tell people, now that I've set boundaries, and I go over how to set boundaries in episode 4 for the listeners, because it's not easy to do. It's terrifying. How did you go about setting healthy, happy boundaries? Because it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing.
Right. It just goes back to using your intuition of how do you feel around a person, and evaluating if it's a mutual relationship. It will be give and take. It always won't be 50-50 on every day. Some days it's 90-10. Some days it's 60-40. But the majority of the time, when you hang out with a friend or a lover or boyfriend or a girlfriend, you feel good. And you enjoy each other's company. And if you're always tired and you're always drained and you really didn't get to talk about yourself at all, you need to have a boundary with that person that I deserve to be heard. I deserve to be loved just as much as I give. And that is the simplest rule to keep going back to. Am I getting as much as I'm giving? And that's not selfish. That is a balanced relationship. And that is a normal relationship.
Yeah, I love that. It's that give and take, like what you were saying. If you're giving so much and then you leave drained, someone just took that all from you. Someone just robbed that from you. You don't have that energy.
That energy, your spiritual health, will affect your physical health eventually.
Yes. I believe I do talk about that. I was sick all the time in my narcissistic relationship, all the time. My legs were on fire around her. That was my body saying, this is someone who's not good for you, Saige. Did you have that experience too? With your body? Like your body just kind of flaring?
I mean, you feel tired, you feel drained, and you feel like you've got a ton of bricks weighing down on you after you talk to the person. You just can't physically be around that person anymore. And it's okay to not, you don't even need an excuse. If they, like I said, just thanks for inviting me, I'm not available. And if they keep getting nothing from you, they'll move on to the next person. And if you've had friends that are narcissists, they go through people again and again and again and again. They will have a new best friend every other 6 months because people can only take so much, sometimes quicker. If you have a person that's really giving and tolerant and isn't aware, they'll last longer, but they have high turnover of friends is a red flag. But getting back to yourself, being in the flow of your own life, you won't allow this to happen because it is your personal responsibility for who your friends are, who you are in love with, who you're in a relationship. So in self-actualization, that's embracing your soul, your authentic self, why you came back to earth. And you let go of everything that is not on your soul's path. And if it's on your soul's path, it's going to help mentor you. It's going to help propel your soul in your soul's mission. And if it doesn't do that, let it go. Don't feel bad about it. Just let it go.
I love that. History is such BS. Someone's like, well, I need to be friends with this person still. History. Screw history. If they make you feel like crap, let them go. We're done. No more fixer-uppers. No more history. People change. We evolve. We grow. If you outgrow someone, that's okay. That's okay.
Well, even kind people, you can outgrow.
Yeah.
There's different phases in life.
That's so true. Yeah, there's tons of different phases, and I've had to let people go that were kind to me just because even though they were kind to me, they loved seeing me small and weak and sick, and even someone that's nice to you, they might still like to see you not living your best life. That's when I had to let some people go. At the end of the day, this is my life. This is my journey.
Taking personal responsibility for yourself.
Yeah. What is a good piece of advice you could give for a woman in the middle of a narcissistic relationship? How to maybe get the steps to start leaving, or to empower her to maybe see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Side interest that is just yours. And, be it a job, be it, like I said, going to yoga, having a community or a women's circle that's just for you, that your partner can't go with. So alone time. Alone time, being out in nature, it gives you peace, it gives you clarity. And once you have clarity about yourself, you'll know what to do.
I love that. I talk on other podcasts with people about that. If you can find one person, and on my own podcast, that won't make you feel stupid for staying, but will say, how can I assist you? Let's talk about this. You're not crazy. You're in a domestic abusive relationship. Let's just talk. You're safe. There's no judgment. Find one person like that you can just talk to, and sometimes they can help you see what this other person is doing is not normal behavior or healthy.
Right. Or going to a therapist. I mean, it's good to go to a therapist and express what you're going through and how you're feeling, and then think of an action plan. What would make me happy? What can I do to move on? How can I let go of this?
Yeah, and for the listeners, another method I've found is it's time to get angry. All the time that person took from you, the wear and tear their stress and drama had on your body. It affects the body.
I had a friend that said something to me. Stop feeling sorry for assholes.
Yes. Let's go.
That pretty much sums it up.
Yep. And in my podcast, I say, wait, where was I going to go with this? Yeah, if someone's not good to you, we're not here to fix that. Just let them go. Just let them go. So to wrap up,
the love.
What is something? Yeah. I don't know what you said. What were you saying?
The love that you would give them, give yourself. The love that you would give them and the energy that you would give them, give yourself.
Yes. And I thought with my ex that I was only worthy of love if I was in pain and suffering and all this drama and craziness and self-sacrificing. That's not love. That's a trauma bond. I want love, and love is peace. That's what love is. Find peace, you guys. So, to wrap it up for the listeners, what are some things I could have you could leave to the listeners, to give them hope or insights, just as a final note?
As a final note, be around people that make you laugh, that make you feel good. And if people are draining you, lessen the time you spend with them until they want to go away. Because if you're not giving the person what they need, then they will go away. But be around people that make you happy, that you can laugh with, that you can giggle with. Like I said, have a hobby, start hiking, join a hiking club, or just go for a walk with your friend daily that makes you feel good. You know, it'll be good for your physical health and your mental health all at once, just taking a walk. Those simple action steps ask yourself, what makes me feel good? And then write those things down. It's different for everybody. Everybody's got different interests, but do more of that and do less of what drains you. And eventually it will be easier and easier to see the narcissistic drain on you, and you won't want any part of it anymore.
No. You choose peace. Peace, giving back and forth. I love that. That is so true. Get your own hobbies away from the partner. Invest in yourself. What makes you happy? Just like what you said, that love you'd give them, give to yourself. I love that. I'm going to remember that. That is beautiful. Well, MaryBeth, thank you so much for being here. I will make sure to include in the show notes your website, if you'd like to send me your book, that link, I'll keep that in the notes too, so people can read it. Any other socials for people to get a hold of you? Your podcast, could you repeat that?
Healing Soul LLC, and it's on Spotify and Apple.
Healing Soul LLC for the listeners, so you can totally listen to her podcast. It's amazing. I just really thank you for being here, and you're going to help a lot of people with the wonderful things you said today. Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Saige. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you to everyone who listened, and you guys all have a wonderful day. Okay. Should be stopping it. Recording.